Coming to our own 7 days ultimatum, or else we march in. For me, I'll say that's an odyssey we're about to undertake. Because, you see, the commander-in-chief can sit down and say, go to Niger. It's just one sentence. If you start computing the logistics and what that is involved, because once that is given, commanders will issue a warning order. Once you tell me as your chief to march on any state, I will issue a warning order immediately. And a warning order immediately sets off what we call battle preparation. The units that will go will start getting their own. Everybody is going to be, concurrent activities will be taking place all over. And the cost alone is not what I think we're in the mood right now as a nation to
accommodate. Yeah.
The cost in terms of finances, the cost in terms of humans, soldiers that are battle weary, soldiers fought back to back for the last 8 years because our president then was goat-headed. He wouldn't listen to anyone. Those of us like me who dared to say it pop and plain were intimidated. But today, history has vindicated everyone. We know where we are. We cannot afford another military odyssey. Our soldiers are battle weary. And apart from that, don't forget, it's a francophone anglophone team. The average Nigerian is seeing Englishmen coming into his country to violate them. That's how they're going to look at it. Just play the devil's advocate. Step to the other side and take an outside-in look at what Nigeria wants to do. So Nigeria is about to do what America tried to do in Cambodia and Vietnam. And the last donkey, the last fowl in Francophone Niger will not accept it.
May I ask if we are talking Nigeria being the lead just because the president of ECOWAS is a Nigerian, or would if the president had been from some other country, Nigeria would still take the lead?
You see, it's so circumstantial that we have the ECOWAS president as a Nigerian. But you see, when this thing called belief and other what you call behavioral affiliations is concerned, like religion, nationalism, you know, when it comes to what you call self-identification, you cannot tear it out of this particular one. The average street man in Niger is not into all these things we are saying. All he knows is Englishmen are coming to Niger to come and do what? And that itself is the ideology behind which those officers in Niger will rally the population. So when you are doing this, our troops are going into what you call no man's land. No, not no man's land. They are going into a ground not of their own choosing. Look at it this way. If you were playing an away match as a football team, the confidence levels you have, you may lose, you may win, but there's this comfort you have when you play a home match. Now you're going to do an away fight. And don't forget, we are not fighting in self-defense. They did not aggress us. They did not attack us. But we are going there to what? Impose.
Yeah, you're still looking at it as if it's a Nigerian Niger thing.
That's what the man on the street is going to see. Stop, Uncle Jimmy, come down from all these strategic, all these high-sounding policies. They sit on the table. It's not the time to play lion now. It's time to play peacock. This is not a place where you can enter with your guns blazing. See, let me tell you something, Uncle Jimmy. Even if we go there and subdue this thing, those people go follow us reach house. The reason is simple. The Nigerian border is some 1,600 kilometers long, contiguous to Nigeria. Contiguous to Nigeria. And don't forget, they were helping us hold the fort for terrorists. We had a joint understanding with them. Now, if that understanding crashes, where do you see happening to us within the next 20 years on a 1,600 contiguous border span for which we know we have border challenges?
Well, part of the ambition is to change the leadership to one that is more amenable to ECOWAS. That's the polite way I can put it.
Yes.
So if that is achieved, what would that affect the thinking of the average Nigerian?
It will not. You see this 7 days ultimatum. I wish the president was not so quick to put it up. The reason is this: if it falls through, we have a situation. If it doesn't fall through, it diminishes whatever is left of the majesty of this Nigerian country we occupy.
Now that the other countries, the four, I think, Guinea, Mali, Chad, and Burkina Faso,
yes,
have said plainly, they've said the troops have left ECOWAS, and they've said they're ready to defend Niger. What's the implication of that?
For us, the implication is those two, Chad and Niger.
Yes.
The immediate implication are our contiguous neighbors. So where I feel a bit confident is wisdom is what is required. And I refuse to believe at his age, my commander-in-chief doesn't have enough of it. It's about wisdom. Let me tell you why now. With all due respect to those young men, you can see the age.
Yes.
The hair. It's just like what happened during the NSAS period. During the NSAS period, there was one young man called Lekan who just emerged winner of Big Brother Nigeria. I advised the then IG that that's your asset. Go for him. If you can bring him in with wisdom, he will become the face, the voice of the law enforcement agencies within that period, and you will rally the children back in. So it's about wisdom. It's about wisdom. You have young, hot-headed men who are sitting or presiding over these countries you mentioned right now.
Oh, yes.
You don't meet them with hot-headedness.
The one that comes to mind that bothers me the most is the Burkina Faso.
Exactly, the Burkinabe.
The Burkinabe, yeah.
Exactly.
It just took me back 30 years.
Yes. I also remember the things we did as subalterns.
Yes.
You know, all we need to hear is go from our commanders, and we were like hounds, dog hounds, foxhounds. So it's wisdom. And good enough, we have enough, is it septuagenarians? And there is enough wisdom to go around here. We can bring them in and rally, but not to meet them with the kind of thing. We do not really have, we can't afford that luxury now of going into fisticuffs.
Do you think that with the 4 countries under military rule, do you think that would have any influence on the Nigerian military? Or on the country, as it were? To put it in a more direct manner, I have this thing that this idea of military rule is spreading again, like it did when I was a very young chap.
You mean, we had the Arab Spring.
Yes, we had the Arab Spring.
West African Spring.
The African Spring, at least by West Africa, whatever, could jolly well be, if care is not taken, this thing could spread.
If you look,
because it's becoming a phenomenon that even it appears the young people might want to accept, probably out of the frustration of so many things.
If you look at it, I will prefer to put it this way, as I did some months back. Given what is happening, the wind that is blowing, if you are on my Facebook page, you see me talking about Christiana Rossetti and her poem, Who Has Seen the Wind. I've been mentioning that since 2020. It's a 2-stanza poem, Who Has Seen the Wind, by Christiana Rossetti. We used to sing that song when I was in nursery 2. I went to school at the age of 3, but nursery 1, not primary. I got to primary 1 at 6.
Make it not go be like some CV surface.
If you went to Hawa Nursery School, Antunku Road in Kaduna, anytime between 74 and 75, nursery 1, you may have been my classmate. We used to say, who had seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing by. The indicators right now is as I have said 2-3 months ago before this came. Let's not provoke the unexpected. Francophone political leaders did. Let's take example from them and realign ourselves. That's just my response to that. Failing that, then it's left to be seen. It's not something I can be able to predict.